You're listening to the Uplevel Your Online Business Show, where wealth is empowering, purpose is crucial, and high vibes are non-negotiable. And now, here's your host, certified business coach and practical woo strategist, Sarah J. Loureiro.
Hey Biz Babe, do you feel like you have a beautiful, big vision for your business yet are struggling to bring in consistent clients? If so, I totally know how you feel and I've got you. I used to struggle with getting and booking consistent clients when I first started my first business 4 years ago. But after implementing this amazing 6-pillar system that I've figured out for myself, I was able to get fully booked literally within a matter of weeks. If you want the same system, I'm actually giving it away for free in my fully booked in 30 days checklist for coaches and creatives. So you can find that on bit.ly/fully booked in 30. That's capital F, capital B, fully booked in 30. Check it out. I promise you that it is going to help you so much.
Hello beauties, and welcome back to the Uplevel Your Online Business Show with me, Sarah, certified business coach for coaches, creatives, and consultants, and any type of one-to-one service-based entrepreneurs who want to get fully booked, really scale their business to maximum impact and fully live their dream lives with all of the impact and the mission that they really feel they were meant to have in the world. So, welcome back. This episode is going to be really mindset focused, as you can tell by the name, because we are going to talk about the big F word in entrepreneurship and how to really rise above the idea of failure. Now, if you're listening to this episode and you feel like you've had a massive failure in your business that you are really worked up about and you just can't seem to get past, I want you to know that I totally understand you. I know that sometimes it feels like there are these people out there who are just doing so well in their businesses and everything that they touch turns to gold, and that's definitely how I felt and I still feel about other people. But I know that it always really helps to share when I've felt like a failure and when I've had unsuccessful launches, or when I read about, a 7-figure entrepreneur who had a completely flopped launch, or when they sometimes struggle with the exact same thing. So I'm here to tell you that failure is actually a part of your business journey. And once you can identify that, and once you can really step beyond the whole, okay, well, this failed, therefore my business is failing. And once you can really reprogram that into, oh, this failed, therefore, yay, I'm now a real entrepreneur and I have all this data that I can bring with me to learn from this mistake or learn from this thing that I wanted to go a certain way but didn't really go a certain way. That's when you really start to create an entrepreneurial mindset. Because here's the thing, not everything that you touch is going to turn into gold. Not every single investment that you make in your business is going to be the big investment that gives you a massive ROI. In fact, a lot of us have experienced that exact same thing of investing in our businesses, thinking that that was going to be the secret magic pill, and it wasn't, and that investment flopped. Or that this one program was going to solve all of our problems, and we launched that program and no one seems to want to buy it. And this is normal. All right, it's normal. It's also normal to have the emotions and that sense of defeat and the feeling like, nothing is working, or that you are not going to get to where it is that you want to get to because XYZ happened. It's normal to have those feelings and it's normal to have those thoughts. What separates a successful entrepreneur, though, from someone who is unsuccessful and someone who just kind of never gets it is the fact that the successful entrepreneur is always going to say, okay, I've felt the feelings, I've thought the thoughts. Now, what can I make from this experience to further X my income? Or what can I make of this experience to continue to be able to serve and to continue and really turn this into a success, right? Turn whatever lesson that I got from this failure into my next big success. And that is ultimately what's going to help you to overcome this quote unquote failure. In fact, I'll give you an example. I was actually just working with one of my clients on this. She was already creating, 5-figure months from the get-go of us working together. She had just started her business. Everything was really, really amazing for her. And then all of a sudden, she had a launch where she really wanted, 10 to 20 people who were going to get into that launch, but she only had, I think it was about 4. And the way that we navigated this was I looked into the entire launch with her. We looked into her messaging. We looked into her funnels. We looked into her live event, all of the things that she did for that launch. And what we realized from that and everything else that she was doing in her business, she had this huge light bulb moment that she wasn't directing her messaging effectively to the people who were actually signing up for her programs. And it was this huge moment for her where it was literally light bulb moment, right? It went off in her head. And from doing that 1% tweak from that quote unquote failed launch, she started getting so much more interest in her business and so many more of the right people joining her community, where that quote unquote failed launch was actually a blessing in disguise. If it hadn't been for that failed launch, she could have gone into her next launch and done something very similar and had that one flop, or had the next thing flop, or had a ton of people in her community but not be converting a whole lot of them because her messaging was off. And the only way that we were able to see that was from her having this thing that, she felt really defeated on, but was actually a blessing in disguise. It was actually something that she turned around and she made immensely profitable. And this is such a common story. I'll tell you guys a story about how this worked out really well for me. When I first started my first business, I created this really amazing program. I thought it was the most amazing program ever. I loved this program. I was so proud of it. And of course it was a really, really incredible program. But the way that I branded it and the way that I did my messaging around it was not attracting the people who I wanted to attract to it. So I did a full launch on that program and I ended up getting 0 people sign up. Okay. 0 people. It was out of a list of 130 or 140 people. So, I had a community size to sell it to as well. I had the people, right? I had the people who were opening up my emails. Some of them were clicking on my links, but no one bought my program. And as I sat there on the last day of no one buying my program, my heart completely sunk. Because I was just I just put so much time and care into this program. And I really wanted to help people with this. I know that this program is going to completely change their lives. And yet, no one took me up on it. And I was devastated. I was devastated because I had a friend, and this is what happens with comparisonitis. I had a friend who had done the exact same launch model, and her program was working so well. She was getting so many signups for her program, and then those people were becoming one-on-one clients for her, and it was so exciting. And I was yeah, I want to do that too. And then I started doing it, and it didn't work out for me. Mind you, she had a business coach at the time. I didn't. I was just kind of following everything that she was doing. That was probably one of my biggest mistakes there. But the good news is, once I rebranded that program I worked on entirely different messaging. I really got crystal clear on who my ideal client was. I ended up creating a 5% conversion rate the next time that I launched it, which is huge. 5% is huge, especially for the type of list that I had. It was mostly a paid reach type list. So basically that means that I just brought a whole bunch of people in from Facebook ads and then I offered them the program. 5% conversion rate. It was awesome. And I couldn't have experienced that, and I couldn't have experienced everything that came after that in terms of me really getting really crystal clear on my messaging and finding out who it was that I really wanted to work with and finding out who were the best people for me to work with had it not been for that initial failure, had it not been for the first time around that I launched that program, that it didn't do as well as I wanted it to. And I've gone through very similar things even this year, even this past year, that I've been hitting multiple 5-figure months. One of the first months of this year, I had a launch that I really wanted to have gone so differently. It didn't go to my expectations at all. But what I learned from that launch was like this huge pivot for me in my business, where I realize that not everything about online business is just strategy and numbers. It's not just like a plug and play system in terms of an equation. There's so much more that goes into launching your programs. And once I started to figure that out, and once I started to really work through my energetic processes and really showing up energetically and showing up in terms of my mindset for my business, I had huge shifts from that as well. And once again, it took that failure for me to realize that. And I think that especially for a lot of people who are newer to business, who are just starting their businesses, there's this huge expectation that everything's going to happen super quickly. And of course, you can totally fast track your progress if you start investing in your business and started hiring your first business coach and hiring whoever it is that you need to hire in order to kind of help you to get to where you want to be. But there's this huge illusion that everyone is just like this overnight success, right? All of the Facebook ads that we see don't really help with this very much. All of the marketing that we see doesn't really help very much with this either. I have a friend who once compared this to the weight loss industry. The weight loss industry is like, shed 20 pounds in 1 week. And it's the same thing with the online industry. It's like make 20K in a week, or like how I made my first 40K month in, like my third month in business or whatever it is. And so we have this idea in our heads that if it's not easy and if our results aren't super quick, then we're doing something wrong and it's not working for us and there's something wrong with us. And behind so many of those marketing campaigns is a huge gap where we don't see what went into that. We don't see what went into that $40,000 month. Maybe it was their third month in business, but maybe they had invested $100,000 in their business already, right? You have no idea what type of business they were having in order to generate those types of results. You have no idea what it took before that person made that specific launch a success. You have no idea how much money was invested in that business. And yet, when we see all of these marketing campaigns, we automatically start to compare ourselves and our progress with other people's success and other people's highlight reels. Because really, most of online marketing is the highlight reel, right? Because that's a part of what marketing is trying to really make a really nice, succinct, short form or short version of success and how you can make success, because that's the most easily readable and that's the thing that's going to catch the most people's attention. But what that also creates is this huge comparisonitis where it's like, if we're not doing or growing at that rate, then we're somehow a failure, that it's somehow not working for us. And then all of a sudden, we go into this headspace of nothing is working, nothing is ever going to work. We start believing all of the things that we really wanted to take out of our brains, we start to consume, whoever it is in our lives who's telling us, businesses don't work, it's too hard, just go back to your 9 to 5, do something that's so much easier for you, like stop putting all your time and energy into something like this, it's just not working. And then we believe that it's not working, when in fact the exact opposite is true. Every single time that you put yourself out there, even if it's a failed launch, even if it's something that where you didn't hit your big goal for, it's working. And it's working surely because of the fact that you're showing up. It's working surely because of the fact that you're going to continue. You're going to learn from whatever failure it is that you had. You are going to pick up those pieces and you're going to start over and you're going to try again, right? That is what makes a successful entrepreneur. Now, there's a big difference between picking up and starting over and trying again and just kind of doing the exact same thing over and over and over again when you're continuously not seeing success. Like that's craziness. Like that is absolute madness, right? So let's say, for example, if you are trying to get a one-on-one client and you just kind of keep on doing the exact same thing over and over again, and you have a failure one month and then you do the exact same thing the next month and then you have a failure the next month and you just kind of keep on spinning your wheels. Well, that's not really being a successful entrepreneur either. So there needs to be some sort of process in terms of your failures where you're learning from them and when you're gaining valuable skills from your failures so that you can rebrand that failure, make that 1% tweak and make it into a success. And if you're not doing that, if you are continuously failing at the exact same thing, chances are that you are avoiding some sort of up level in your business where you either don't know how to do it differently or you're struggling with the implementation part of doing that differently. And if you're getting to a block on that, that is you limiting yourself and your business from its own success. Thinking that you can do everything on your own, or thinking that you can just kind of pick up all the pieces even if you don't know what all the pieces mean and just rebrand and go with that, that is going to be one of your quickest ways to multiple failures, multiple back-to-back failures in your business if you're not getting the support that you need. So that's another huge piece of it. And it doesn't matter if you're brand new or you're on the edge of another up level. Once you realize that you cannot do everything on your own anymore and you're just trying to do the exact same thing over and over and over again and keep running in circles, that's not failure and learning from failures and creating massive successes. That is just complete madness. That's craziness, right? That's the definition of craziness, is doing the exact same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. So at that specific moment in time, if you're not learning from your failures and if you're not developing some sort of plan where you're like, oh my goodness, yes, this didn't go as planned, but I know exactly how to make this really, really amazing the next time. The next time that you do it, you make it really, really amazing. Then chances are you are holding yourself back. And so what you're going to really want to ask yourself is, why am I holding myself back? And what do I need to do to really reach the next level it is that I want to reach? And here's another thing. I truly believe that each and every one of us has the opportunity to create as big of a business as we want. It does not matter who you were in the past. It doesn't matter how smart you were in school. It does not matter how much time you have on your hands right now. If you really have this beautiful big vision for your business, you can make it happen. You can make it all work. But if you continuously get in your own way, and if you're not willing to do everything that it takes, your efforts are always going to fall short. So instead of just kind of going through this roller coaster ride of things are working, things aren't working, things are working, and things aren't working, and oh my goodness, I don't know if I should continue with this entrepreneurship game or not, which is what so often so many people do. They say, okay, I'm just going to try this out for a few months, and if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, and I'm going to have proof that it doesn't work. And then your brain literally looks for proof as to why it's not working, and then you decide it's not working, and then you completely give up. What you want to do instead, and this is like one of the biggest things that you can do for yourself and for your business, is to realize that your success is inevitable. No matter how many times you have to pick yourself up, no matter how many times you have to learn from this one thing that didn't really go according to plan, no matter how many times that your brain will tell you this isn't working because you signed on 5 clients instead of 6. Realize that your success is inevitable. Realize that literally you have everything inside of you that it takes to be successful. All you need to do is start chasing after everything that is that you want, and letting go of your limiting beliefs and finding out how you're going to be doing whatever it takes to get you there, and you will start to see that your success is inevitable. Anything that you want in your business and your life, you can literally program it into your mind. Tell yourself you want it. Tell yourself you're going to do whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes, and it shows up, you guys. It literally shows up. If it's not showing up, chances are you are limiting yourself from doing whatever it takes, because at the end of the day, you can have it. Your success is already there. If you can dream it, if you can see it in the future, it's already happening for you. It's totally possible. What you need to decide for yourself is, how far are you willing to go in order to see all of your dreams come true? And how far are you willing to go in terms of turning your failures into that inevitable success? I'll leave you with that. As always, you can find me on Instagram if you have any questions about this episode. If you want to share this episode, I'd love it if you would share it, especially with people who feel like they're super defeated right now and they really need some words of encouragement. Please share this episode with them as well. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you next time. Hey, did you like or love this episode? If so, I would so appreciate it if you left a review and rated this episode on iTunes. It would literally mean so much to me. And if you have Instagram and are all up in your Instagram stories like I am, I would love it if you would share this episode with your beautiful followers so they can also get all of the high vibes, all of the free information that I'm giving you here. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to the Uplevel Your Online Business Show. If you enjoy our show and would like the show notes and free goodies about how to grow your online coaching business, head over to sarahjlorero.com for more information. We hope you'll tune in next time.